Hi, my name is Brian, and I'm the High Pop Professor. Today, I'd like to talk about print runs, pack odds, true odds, and actually using some of these numbers that we see published on Baseball Cardpedia to help us sort of determine a lot of cases, these sets that were in the 90s, they didn't actually have a stated print run for a lot of these even really tough to get inserts. So turns out, just using some little napkin math, we can sort of make a really educated guess for some of these as to what the print runs actually were. And so today I would like to go ahead and run through a specific example of a set that has come to my attention as not being serial numbered, but at the same time having an absolutely massive true odds, really tough to pull. And people are sort of wondering, well, how many of these are out there? And I think I have an answer, or at least a very narrow range of an answer that, should be pretty useful for some people when they're looking at collecting, looking at prioritizing, hey, which insert should we go after next? Which parallel is the tougher one to get? And this sort of enables us to put the context behind it and, I think accurately help us prioritize sort of which targets we should be going after first and prioritizing over others. So we'll turn the camera around, we'll take a look at this set, and we'll run through some examples. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a really cool set of 2000 Finest, and specifically the refractors from 2000 Finest. So here's a beautiful Greg Maddux refractor. Love this beautiful etched design. You can see the texture on the baseball in the background. And just absolutely stunning. Just a gorgeous card, gorgeous insert. And this is a parallel that was seeded at 1 in 24 packs for both hobby and retail. And you can see this is one of those where they have the refractor on the back as well. And so really, really cool. You see it says refractor, if it will focus. There we go. Right under the number. And so easy to tell what they are. They're labeled. They are stunningly gorgeous and beautiful. And so great card, lovely card, but it's not serial numbered, and a lot of time, during 99 was the first year that, at least in Bowman's Best, they started to serial number even just regular refractors. Now, of course, Bowman's Best had the atomics as well. And actually, I suppose it's 98. They started doing both out of 400 for the regular refractors, out of 100 for the atomics. And so for Finest, you have the regular refractors and you have the gold refractor. So here's the gold refractor, also from 2000. And so you see the baseball in the background is a golden color instead of the silver color. And you'll also notice that on these gold refractors, look at the deckled edge. They have a beautiful deckled edge on them. And so they sometimes will call this the die-cut refractor. And very reminiscent of what they did not in 98, but in 97 with the gold embossed refractors. So this is our gold refractor. And if we flip it over in the back, we can see the label does in fact indicate, yep, gold refractor. Beautiful, gorgeous cards. Fantastic. And the pack odds on something like this, instead of 1 in 24 packs, instead of about 1 per box for the silver back here, these are 1 in 240 packs at 10 times the difficulty to pull. And that's pretty darn rare. That's a really rare insert. Like, you don't see these all the time, and if you're a player collector, you can go for kind of a long time looking for one without ever seeing one pop up. Since I've gotten back in the hobby, this is the only one I've actually seen that popped up, and I snapped it up when I saw it. And I'm glad I did, because I haven't, to this day, haven't seen another one come available. So I'm just glad I pounced on it when I did. So thing is, as tough as this card is, there's no serial number on here. There's no, I can look up on Baseball Cardpedia, and they don't show a print run for any individual player for the gold refractors or even the regular refractors. But what they do show, they show enough other information with the other insert sets, the other parallels, where we can make a really educated calculation. And we can find out roughly how many, and actually pretty narrow band. And so we're going to walk through this process and talk about it. So on the left side of the screen, I'm going to go ahead and put up some information. And this is basically the baseball card PDF page. It details the pack odds. It tells you how many players were in each given set or insert or parallel. And then it will tell you in the middle column what the serial numbering was too, or the print run for that particular set. And then, of course, we have the odds for pulling them. And the odds are kind of broken down into hobby/retail. And then on the right-hand column, they have HTA, which stands for home team advantage. Now, we'll get to the HTA in a little bit. That's the one variable that kind of throws the kink into the system here. It throws the wrench into the plans, and that makes it trickier to calculate. So for now, we're just going to put the HTA on the side. We'll come back to that later. And let's just talk about the odds themselves. So let's look at these gold refractors, because these are the tough ones. And these are the ones, well, how tough are they? Are they tougher than the 97 gold embossed refractors? Are they tougher than, I mean, we don't know. We don't know how many of them were made. We don't know how many of those were made. But we, again, can use an educated guess. So what we do have, though, is if you look at this information on Baseball Cardpedia, you'll see that for the rookie gold refractors, they actually do indicate, and they show on there that, okay, even though, and so what they call it the short set for the regular cards, and there's 102 cards in the short set, and the rookies were like a subset, and there's 20 of them. And for that particular parallel with these rookie gold refractors, they have all three pieces of information. We know there's 20 possible cards in that set. Those actually are serial numbered to 100, and they've got their odds, the pack odds of pulling a rookie gold refractor of 1 in 368 packs, which seems weird because, well, I mean, for the regular short set ones, it's only 1 in 240, which I say only, like that's easy to buy 240 finest packs, but still, it seems like it's tougher to pull because it is, and also serial numbered to 100. So there's a big difference here, because if we consider what the true odds are of pulling a given either rookie player or a given player from the short set, the 102 cards in a gold refractor, these pack odds of 1 in 240 and 1 in 368 actually flip upside down. They invert. And what I mean by that is that the short set being 102 cards, there's over 5 times the number of players in that short set. And so what that means is that even though they're easier to pull 1 in 240, if you're looking for a specific guy like a Frank Thomas or a Tony Gwynn or a Barry Bonds, you've got to dodge another 101 other guys to get your specific player you're seeking. Whereas, even though they're tougher to get, the rookie ones, those same 20 players are going to be recycled over and over and over again. And so the true odds, if you multiply the pack odds of, in the rookie gold refractor, the 368, 1 in 368 packs, times the 20 possible players in there, then that means that, again, your true odds here are going to be 1 in 7,360 packs for pulling any given specific rookie player as a gold refractor. However, for the short set gold refractor, if you multiply the 1 in 240 packs times the 102 cards in this set, our true odds now become 1 in 24,480 packs to pull any specific, like, veteran player in a gold refractor. So even though the odds seem like they're 50% tougher to pull the rookie gold refractor, in reality it's actually a little over like 3.3 times easier to pull a specific rookie gold refractor player as opposed to a specific veteran gold refractor player. So that's one of those really strange sort of well, it seems like it shouldn't be that way. It seems like one's tougher to pull, so it should be tougher to get. It's like, well, but the set size matters. And this is sort of why it matters. Now, that being said, they thankfully told us these are actually, for the rookie gold refractors, are serial numbered to 100 copies. And so if you imagine that you bought 368 packs and you got one rookie gold refractor, and if you did that 20 times, and let's assume that you had really good luck and you got the whole set, every single time you didn't get a duplicate, right? And so you got the whole set. What that means is that after 7,360 packs, which is 368 times 20, you would, in theory, not actually, but in theory, you would have basically have collected the entirety of the rookie Gold Refractor subset. Well, if we multiply that number, 7,360, the true odds, times 100, because again, there's 100 of them out there for every single card. So multiply that by 100, that means that we can calculate that there were 736,000 packs produced. And this is hobby and retail combined. Once we know the print run, which is basically what we've just found out, we could take the 736,000 packs, we could divide it by 24, or however many packs per boxes, figure out how many boxes were produced, divide by 10, figure out how many cases were produced, so on and so forth. We can use that number. But we're going to take that number, that 736,000 packs, we're going to reverse engineer it. And we're going to find out what this print run is for our Gold Refractor set. So if we take that 736,000 packs, divide it by the 1 in 240 packs that this Gold Refractor short set odds are, and then divide it again by the 102 cards in every set. Effectively, in other words, we're taking the 736,000 and effectively dividing it by the true odds of getting this, dividing it by that 24,480 we talked about before, we get a number that is exactly 30.0653, yada, 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 yada. So all that means is that we can be very confident that even though these are not serial numbered, that at least for the hobby and retail packs, there are 30 for every given player in that short set, like Greg Maddux. Now, does that mean that the print run of these cards is actually 30, is exactly 30? Well, no. And the reason why it's not is because, well, these cards were also inserted into those HTA packs, the Home Team Advantage packs. And we don't know, the big problem we're having here is that we don't know what proportion of hobby shops ordered these HTA packs, or what proportion of the product that they sold or ordered, or what the proportion of product they made were in HTA format. So, just like they had packs that were in magazine packs, rack packs, jumbo packs, all cellophane, whatever it was. Some inserts would show up in different formats of packs, and this is sort of the big question. Now, the thing is, it's now, because they were basically jumbo packs, they were larger, they were more expensive. The odds of pulling rare cards and inserts were better in the HTA packs than they were in regular hobby and retail packs. However, they were not as common. They did not make as many of them. They were not as plenteous. And so the big question is, well, what proportion did they make an equal number of HTAs than they did hobby and retail? Probably not. Again, because if we take the idea that of all those, 736,000 packs that were both hobby and retail, well, a portion of those went to hobby, a portion went to retail, and, well, again, I don't know if it's exactly a perfect 50% split, but let's assume for a moment that it is. And half of those are hobby, half of those are retail. Of all the hobby shops that existed and carried this product of 2000 Finest, I guess the question is, of those hobby shops, well, what percentage of the 2000 Finest packs did they carry as just regular hobby packs, or which ones were the HTA? And again, that's another variable that we don't know. I think a reasonable starting place is to assume that, maybe half of the hobby packs were HTA. My suspicion is that it's way less than that. My suspicion might be that it's like 20% of all the hobby packs that were there were actually the special HTA kind. It just is it's a specialty sort of, a product that is not as common. It's not as popular. They did carry it, but it's not as purchased generally. At least I don't think it is. So what that means is that, if we take, if 30 of these are embedded and inserted into these retail and hobby packs, and again, half of them are hobby, and then half of that half are HTA, well, half of 30 is 15, half of 15 is 7.5, 7.5. So if the hobby shops, actually did carry half of their hobby packs as HTA, which I think is high, that means that 7.5, about 7 or 8 of these cards would be in those HTA packs, add on to the 30 cards that we have calculated very closely to be in the regular hobby retail packs, that puts the print run of these things at about, well, at about 37 or 38 out there in existence. Now, however, if, like I suspect, that maybe these HTA format, maybe it was only about 20% of the hobby shop's allocation of 2000 finest, if that's what they were doing. In that case, again, half of all the product is retail, so throw that out. And so we're only looking at 50% of these numbers in hobby, and then 20% of the 50% turns out to only be 10% of what this number was. And so 10% of the 30 that we have here is only 3 of these. And in that case, only 3 of these for each player would have been inserted into those HTA packs. And so 3 of these added on to the 30 means that the print run for this card, for these cards like this in this set, are likely somewhere between 33 and 38. So I'm going to split the difference and call it 35. I'm pretty confident that there's a roughly, 35 of these made for every player. And so that's my rough napkin math for how this works. Now, the other cool part about this is we can actually extend this. We can extend this to the regular, because with the regular refractor, like we said before, it's 10 times easier to pull. Instead of 1 in 240, it's 1 in 24. And so the way the math there works is that, well, instead of 30 of these in existence, just multiply it by 10. And so there should be 300 of these that are inserted just into the hobby and retail packs. And again, we do the same calculation with the HTA packs, and instead of 35, we can assume that maybe 350 of these total exist. Roughly 50 in the HTAs, and roughly 300 in the hobby and retail. And so, yeah, this is sort of one of those, and these numbers are not numbers. I mean, these are numbers I derived from Baseball Cardpedia, but they don't have that number of 30 produced in hobby and retail. They don't have that explicitly stated on the website. They don't. And so it requires a little bit of napkin math. And again, HTA being what it is, that's the one variable that allows us to, well, it's preventing us rather, from being as precise as we could possibly be. So if you're still watching after all this, thank you. This is fun. It's a fun example to work through, both of these examples. And it's this kind of napkin math that, as a, armchair mathematician, teacher, I like to think about these kinds of things, put forth this in a Hobby Numbers episode like this, and who knows, maybe in a future episode, if I can find data for the basketball set involving 97 Finest and their gold embossed refractors, maybe we could crack the code and solve the mystery for what the print runs are for a set like this. So have a great day, and thanks for watching.